Can you tell us like how big the live contract was?
It was good. It was good.
8 figures, 9 figures.
It was 9.
That's like 100 million or more.
Yep.
Brooks Koepka's latest move has left every golf fan stunned and sent the entire sport into a frenzy. His LEV contract might say he's locked in, but his silence and this unexpected decision are raising serious questions. Today, I'll break down what's really going on with Koepka's latest signal and why so many fans think something much bigger is coming. Whispered comeback. It all began with that cryptic Fred Couples comment, one that carried more weight than most realize. Couples and Koepka are not just casual acquaintances. They text, they talk, and apparently, they talk about the future. So when Couples told Seattle's KJR radio that Koepka wants to come back, the golf world collectively lost its composure. This wasn't a rumor born from Reddit or fan fiction. This was a Hall of Famer reading the tone of a modern-day major machine.
Yeah, I mean, everybody seems to have their own opinion. No one asked me. I mean, I talked to Fred quite a bit, but we don't go too much into detail about what's going on. Like I've said it before, I'm not in those rooms. I've got a contract obligation out here to fulfill, and then we'll see what happens. But
Koepka's response came swiftly, and it was a masterclass in controlled ambiguity. "Yeah, we talk," he said, confirming that the two have indeed been in touch. But then came the curveball. "I've got a contract obligation out here to fulfill. We'll see what happens." That phrase, "we'll see what happens," is pure gasoline for gossip. It's the kind of non-answer that sounds like a maybe wrapped in legal caution tape. Behind that statement lies the obvious. Koepka's deal with LIV Golf reportedly runs through 2026, worth well north of $100 million. Which means any return before then isn't a casual stroll back to the PGA clubhouse. It's a corporate chess match between billionaires. Still, his careful tone and that ever-present half-smile have fans believing there's smoke where there's fire. For now, it's all whispers, but the kind that echo louder than press releases. Contract clock. Here's where the reality check kicks in. Money and contracts don't lie. Koepka's 2022 jump to LIV wasn't some mid-season whim. It was a calculated move with a massive financial cushion and a defined timeline. Most credible reports pin the expiration date around late 2026, which means, in plain math, a Koepka return anytime before then would require either a buyout, a loophole, or divine intervention.
3 or 4 years, they've gotten a good indication of how does the schedule work with the majors now, obviously, because they're the 4 most important events of the year, and then it's up to their own, themselves to make that decision how they want to go forward and what's more valuable to them. So it's a different choice for everyone.
That hasn't stopped the speculation circus. Analysts have mapped out 3 possible escape routes. Option 1, a negotiated buyout between LEV's public investment fund and Koepka's representatives, expensive but not impossible. Option 2, a cross-league detente if the PGA and LIV finalize structural agreements that make dual play plausible. Option 3, he simply runs out the clock, declines renewal, and slides back into the PGA ecosystem once his contract dissolves. Each scenario drips with drama, money battles, PR wars, and potential backlash from whichever side feels betrayed. But here's the subtle brilliance of Koepka's current stance. He's playing both sides of perception perfectly. He's not a loud LIV loyalist. He rarely sports the team logos, thanks to his enduring Nike deal. That understated approach lets him hover in the neutral zone, cashing LIV checks while still sipping espresso with PGA loyalists. The ticking clock on his contract isn't just about time, it's leverage. Every quiet month that passes makes the next move feel bigger, costlier, and, for fans, more deliciously inevitable. Logo silence. You can tell a lot from what an athlete doesn't wear. While other LEV players have transformed into human billboards, wrapped in team logos, sleeve patches, and corporate emblems, Brooks Koepka walks a different fairway. The Nike swoosh, clean, centered, unmistakable, dominates his look. The LIV insignia? Practically invisible. That's not rebellion by accident. That's rebellion by design. Koepka's wardrobe isn't just clothing, it's communication. It says, "I'm here, but I'm not yours."
Okay, fair enough. What about Nike? You're obviously still a Nike athlete. You've clearly kept a good relationship with them. Do you see them ever getting involved in Live, like from a broader perspective with the team?
I don't know. It's up to Nike. I can't speak on the word for them, so
Yeah.
I'm not. I guess I do, but I'm a Nike athlete. But I'm not in those business conversations of where they want to be.
The optics are surgical. Broadcasters have started calling it visual diplomacy, the art of keeping both sides calm while saying nothing. Liv gets its superstar presence on the leaderboard, the PGA gets plausible nostalgia, and Koepka gets to exist in the hazy middle where leverage lives. That's brand minimalism weaponized. Every time he tees off in another logo-free Nike polo, fans read it like a message in code. He hasn't fully crossed over. And they're not wrong. By refusing to plaster himself with Liv branding, Koepka keeps his sponsors, his fan base, and even his legacy intact. It's plausible deniability stitched in fabric. Nike stays happy because its icon isn't sharing real estate with a rival logo. PGA loyalists stay calm because he doesn't look like a defector. And Koepka keeps his freedom because visually, he's still his own man. It's the golf equivalent of political neutrality, polished, practiced, and quietly powerful. But under that neutrality lies a deeper tension. Koepka's entire career was built on pressure, roaring crowds, nerve-wracking Sundays, the weight of legacy. LIV's format, shotgun starts, team names that sound like tech startups, and half-full galleries, doesn't deliver the same adrenaline. When fans see him stalking a Livy fairway in silence, absent of logos and fanfare, they project their own longing onto him. He misses it. The crowds, the meaning, the majors. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Koepka's too smart to give that away. His poker face is part of the brand, but one thing's undeniable. He's turned silence into a statement. While other players scream loyalty through sponsorships, Koepka whispers independence through absence. In an era where every inch of clothing is for sale, Brooks Koepka's greatest flex is what he refuses to sell. And that, ironically, might be the loudest logo in golf. Pundit pressure. Rumors in golf don't spread by accident. They're curated, caddied, and televised with the precision of a 30-foot birdie putt. Once Fred Couples dropped that now infamous line, Brooks wants to come back. The sports chatter machine ignited like a faulty tee box sprinkler. Within minutes, the echo chamber spun out of control. Golf Channel's resident doomsayer, Brandel Chamblee, dubbed Koepka the prodigal son in waiting, turning what could have been an offhand remark into a full-blown narrative arc. Twitter split into digital fairways, versus. The online discourse wasn't just fast, it was forensic. Every clip, every quote, every emoji Koepka posted became evidence.
The news came out today. We were looking at the Sports Business Journal that they've hired 4 new employees under the new director of Live Golf, Chris Heck. And it feels like we tried this one thing. It didn't work. What do we do now? Because let's be honest about it. It has never been about growing the game. It's about using money to sledgehammer their way to pound a seat at the table of power, which is at the highest level of professional golf.
Podcasts turned into pseudo-trials. Barstool dissected the timing like a conspiracy. No Laying Up turned Couples' comment into an episode-length autopsy of modern golf loyalty. Even mainstream sports outlets, normally indifferent to golf drama, jumped on the trend, selling Koepka's potential return as the Tiger-style resurrection arc the sport has been craving. The irony? Koepka hadn't actually said anything new, but in golf media, silence is the most explosive soundbite. Behind the studio noise, though, lies a subtler kind of pressure, the locker room kind. Several PGA loyalists have whispered, off the record, that Koepka misses the grind, the structure, the intensity, the 7 a.m. tee times that separate greatness from gimmicks. According to Golf Digest, one player even claimed, "Brooks doesn't need the money, he needs the meaning." That line, polished into poetry, went viral. It painted him not as a sellout, but as a lost champion searching for something more sacred than appearance fees. Suddenly, Koepka wasn't a villain anymore. He was a myth, the conflicted hero torn between wealth and worth. But make no mistake, the pressure isn't just coming from nostalgic PGA voices. Levy insiders reportedly loathe this narrative. Every headline suggesting Koepka might return cracks the facade of permanence they've worked so hard to project. He's supposed to be a pillar, not a flight risk. Imagine being a LEV team captain while your league's most decorated American player is rumored to be sketching his escape plan on the back of a scorecard. It's the kind of gossip that erodes locker room calm and fuels anxiety in boardrooms. Levy wants unity. Koepka's ambiguity sells doubt. And yet, Koepka plays the part perfectly. When cornered at the LIV Singapore press conference, he delivered another flawless dodge, a grin, a shrug, and a soft-spoken, "We'll see." That's it. But in the 24-hour sports cycle, that shrug might as well have been a soliloquy. By the end of that week, the narrative was cemented. Brooks Koepka isn't just a golfer anymore, he's golf's greatest mystery. The man who might come back, but refuses to admit he wants to. And that paradox, that dangerous mix of defiance and nostalgia, is why the rumor refuses to die. Because everyone loves a redemption arc, especially when the hero is too cool to ask for one. Brand battle. The Brooks Koepka saga isn't just about golf, it's about identity, optics, and control in a sport that worships conformity. He's the Nike-clad rebel who joined the chaos, cashed the check, and somehow kept his credibility intact. While other LIV stars plastered themselves with neon team logos and awkward slogans, Koepka stayed icy and minimal, the logoless assassin in a world of walking billboards. He's a major champion surrounded by players half his resume and twice his sponsor clutter, and he seems to like that imbalance. The war between PGA heritage and live money may be philosophical for most, but for Koepka, it's personal branding theater. Every stitch of his wardrobe, every muted press quote, every perfectly timed smirk, it's all brand chess. Liv wants showmanship and rebellion. Koepka sells precision and poise. Liv's official pages post overproduced hype clips, teammates shouting over dance tracks. Meanwhile, Koepka's Instagram? Deadpan black and white gym footage captioned, "Work." That's his rebellion. Silence in a room full of noise. And for Liv executives desperate for loud stars, it's maddening. Koepka's indifference is their nightmare. A megastar who won't play the marketing game. Sponsors, however, see something different: longevity. While some LIV players torch their market value by becoming too tightly tied to the league's image, Koepka's restraint keeps him brand safe. Nike still calls the shots on his wardrobe, which means Liv can't force its logo onto his chest. That's not just a contract quirk, it's symbolic. It keeps him visually separate, strategically neutral, one handshake away from re-entering the PGA scene without fan backlash. And then came the lawsuit subplot. Earlier in 2025, Koepka quietly won a court battle against a former business partner who claimed a share of his LIV earnings, a tidy victory that reinforced his image as the man who always lands on his feet. While others in golf drama look messy, Koepka looks surgical. Fans now call it the Brooks effect, breaking the rules without breaking stride. He cashes LEV's checks, dodges its optics, wins lawsuits, and still walks through PGA locker rooms like he never left. In the middle of golf's loudest branding war, Brooks Koepka's greatest brand is silence, and it's winning. Legacy equation. Every great athlete eventually hits the one question they can't outrun, outspend, or outlift. What will your career mean when it's over? For Brooks Koepka, that question is no longer lurking in the background. It's screaming over the LIV golf intro music. He's got 5 major titles, more swagger than most locker rooms combined, and a trophy case built for the Hall of Fame. But greatness, like a putt on Augusta's 18th, has to drop cleanly, and Koepka's ball is still circling the lip. Because here's the thing, Liv changed everything about how golf's history gets written. PGA Tour victories are myth, Liv wins are fine. The money is real, but the meaning is not. Koepka knows that. Every time he lifts a Liv trophy in front of smaller crowds and louder music, he can probably hear the ghosts of old majors whispering, "This doesn't count the same." That's the unspoken price of his move, a dilution of legacy that no payday can polish away. The reason the comeback rumors sting differently for Koepka is because they're not just about money or competition, they're about redemption of narrative. He hasn't lost his edge. His major performances prove that. A second place here, a top 10 there, another major win since joining Liv. He's still dangerous. But the further he drifts from the PGA's spotlight, the more the legend dulls. The killer who once made Sundays tremble now competes in shotgun starts and team formats that feel more novelty than history. And fans notice. Some defend him as a businessman, others mourn him as a lost gladiator. The discourse itself has become part of his mythology, a man too cool to care, yet too competitive to fade. If Koepka ever returns, it won't be for nostalgia or applause. It'll be to seal the story, to walk back into the arena, slam one more major, and make his narrative bulletproof. He's the perfect anti-hero for golf's modern era. Detached but deliberate, cynical but self-aware. Golf loves redemption arcs almost as much as it loves tradition, and Brooks Koepka, the rebel, the mercenary, the quiet storm, might just write the next great one. Because even for golf's coldest assassin, legacy is the one trophy that still matters. So here we are. Brooks Koepka, the most dangerous man in golf, standing perfectly still while everyone else loses their minds. He hasn't confirmed a thing, yet the sport can't stop talking about him. That's not a scandal, but a strategy. Whether he's plotting a comeback or just enjoying the chaos, one thing's clear. Koepka's next move won't just shake golf's balance, it'll redefine it. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because in golf's biggest soap opera, the silence before the swing is always the loudest part.